Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for serious minded people. This is the tarot reading which understands that tarot is the science of potential. I've done tarot for over 20 years, astrology, numerology for over 50. They're all a little bit different, but tarot is the science of potential. It doesn't predict anything. What it talks about is a singular energy, a singular point in time, that frequency in that time, and boom. You take a look at it, you feel it, you sense it, whatever the case may be, and you decide either you're going to go forward with it or pass. Your choice. Potential. Now, on the other hand, just for clarification, astrology, numerology, they're the science of cycles. I have never in my 50 years been able to really distill a reading the way I would like to. I wanted something simple, clean, pure, understandable. Because the whole idea is communication. It's not impressing you with how smart I am with astrology. That has nothing to do with it. It has to do with delivering a message to you. For example, back about 250 years ago, we formed the United States of America, July 4th, 1776. On that day, in that time period, you had Pluto in a spot, you had Uranus in a spot. Pluto stands for evolution, Uranus stands for revolution. And I think those two things alone pretty much fit the temperament of 1776. Well, we're 250 years later. Pluto needs about 250 years to go around back to its original spot. Uranus takes about that same time to go around several times, but ends up in the same spot. So we now, as we're approaching July 4th, 2026, next year, July 4th, 2026, 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and Pluto and Uranus pretty much in the same spot, maybe a degree or two off, but essentially it's there. And in fact, the last few years or so, last maybe 5-10 years, we've felt the influence. That's why I like to use the long, faraway planets, because they really lay a foundation. You get the ascendant, you get the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars. They're great, but they're more timing things. You get Jupiter, there's a little element of something more than timing. Saturn, a little more. But by the time you get to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, these things stay in a sign for 7 to 15 years, 20 years. So they really lay a foundation, and that's the foundation that we want to do the tarot reading through. So just like 250 years ago, we had evolution and revolution as the guiding energies here in the United States of America. We got them now again, and take a look at where we are. Same place. You're going to say to yourself maybe, well, yeah, no, but it wasn't this messy. We knew we wanted to leave Britain. No, we didn't. Same jerkasses that are holding things up these days were holding things up then too. No, I want to stay with England. I want to be a Tory. I want to. It wasn't an easy skate, but they did it. They were committed. That's where we're at right now. Are we committed to a democratic republic, the constitutional dream called the United States of America, or are we going to give up on it? It's a 50-50 thing right now, frankly. But that's where we begin our reading. Very simple, very direct, very understandable, because my idea is communicating, not getting wrapped up in some sort of metaphysical crap. I'm not here for that. Good, clean, concise frequency. You will know at the end of the reading, that's the energy. Do I want to use it or I don't? If I do want to use it, how do I want to use it in my life? So let's begin. We got the 4 tarot cards. The one card in the middle, that is the oracle card, sets the mood for the reading. That's it. That's all we're going to use. I want you to close your eyes, or maybe go get a cup of coffee, tea, whatever the case may be. Maybe a bowl of soup or a sandwich or whatever it is. But listen, this is the key. This is all arranged for you to listen, not watch. Listen. Because when you're listening, you make pictures in your head. When you're watching something, not so much. You got the pictures on the screen in front of you. Why the hell do you have to think? You don't have to create anything. You just Well, there's the problem. You're dumbing yourself down. You're disconnecting with yourself. We all know how to manifest from the time we're born. It may take a few years before we start to apply it, and usually negatively. I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't, and then you don't, and you wonder why the hell you don't. Well, you're manifesting you don't. So we got to change that orientation to something else, something positive. So I designed this specifically. 4 cards, 4 basic cards that give you a real good energy to work with. You will know what the energy is. You'll know what the frequency is. And let's move from there, because it is communication, it is you understanding and being able to apply that message that count, because your ability to manifest is the kryptonite in your world against everything and everybody. I'm not saying that if you manifest really well that you're not going to have a life with some discomfort or pain or whatever. Life is not that way. But you will have self-direction, and that is essential as a human being. So let's begin. Middle card sets the mood, and the deal is a question. Why? That's a really important question. 2-year-olds can drive you crazy because they hit a stage, at least many kids I've run into. When you hit that button, around 2, 3, why? It's a very natural human question. It's a human need. I don't simply want to just do it because you tell me to do it. I want to understand why. In fact, I think that's really the failing of our educational system, although the educational system was designed by John D. Rockefeller to make us dumb. He said, I want an education system that makes workers, not thinkers. So he doesn't want you to ask why. So he set it up that way. Lots of money. It's amazing how it gets schools to change. But here we're saying it is essential. It's the number one need every human being has. Why? Answer that question. Why? The meme for today says, children questioning rules and traditions that you expect them to automatically follow is a sign of intelligence, not a troublemaker. They're holding you accountable. They want to know, why do you want me to do this? Now, there's a certain point in time when they're very young where you can't get into a logical explanation, although you should try to give something, because as they get older, they're going to want more explanations. And as a parent, a guardian, you really want to be able to give them the best possible answer to the question, why? So children questioning rules and traditions you expect them to automatically follow is a sign of intelligence, not trouble. Lose the idea that unquestioned obedience is a sign of goodness. It's not. It's just a person who never thinks for themselves. That makes them easy to manipulate. Which is exactly what they're doing with technology and have been doing. You have this Android droning going on in your life. I mean, take a look. We couldn't ask questions about COVID. Couldn't ask questions about Russiagate. Couldn't ask questions about 9/11. Couldn't ask questions about anything. And if they didn't allow you to ask questions and give you good answers, they're hiding something. They're lying to you. So what you want from your child, and you have to start early on. Maybe even just before they begin talking. You let them question. You encourage them to question, but respectfully, intelligently. Because if you don't give them that background, they're going to be assholes, and that's not going to give them the answers to the questions they're asking. So the big one for you and for every human being is why. Why am I doing this? Let's go all the way to the left. Let's do the first card. We got the 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. Cups are our emotional attachments, for good or for bad. Could be a person, an idea, a memory, whatever. We're connected to it. 8 of Cups says, I'm done with that. Eight of Cups is almost that kid who never questioned and then hits a point in his life or her life where they got to ask why. They got to ask why. They just hit it. I've had enough of just doing what I'm told. I got to get answers. This person has not gotten the correct answers. It's crushed them emotionally. Their emotional foundation has been destroyed. And that's why they're walking away, and they can never go back. They're burning bridges. They go, it was bullshit. What you told me was bullshit. Man, am I hurt. But staying here doing nothing is not going to help me. I have to find out why. Why? And they are beginning their journey, walking away. One of the key things that you can do in terms of walking away is not something so dramatic. How about the Hermit card? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself why. Why do I think that way? Why do I feel that way? Am I doing it for myself? Am I just repeating what the hell I was told as a kid? And when I was growing up, I was born in 1950, so you do fast math, I'm 75. When I was growing up, one of the common expressions was kids should be seen and not heard. And it was a common expression. I'm not sure that everybody who said it believed it totally, but enough did. And I think that's why we had the rebellion in the 1960s with the hippies and stuff. My generation just said, up yours, man. We're not doing this anymore. We had to ask why. But that was what I grew up under. Kids should be seen and not heard. I don't want that from your kids. But you have to work with them, early on, to ask intelligent, thoughtful, and respectful questions. But please ask questions. Next card over is the Four of Pentacles. Pentacles are the things that you value. You think more cars are going to make your life better? Do you think a bigger home? Do you think more clothing? Do you think more this? Do you think things? Or do you look at friendship? Do you look at love? Do you look at purpose? Do you look at health? How about peace? Would your life be better with peace? The Four of Pentacles says that as you're going through all this pain, walking away from what you're emotionally addicted to, looking inside, asking yourself, why do I think or feel this way, and waiting for answers. It'll give you that Four of Pentacles security, that stability, that thing that is so important. In fact, that's, I think, what's really messing it up for a lot of people these days. They realized that the stuff that we've been told is bullshit. And for some people, hey, don't destroy my illusions. Don't destroy. I just assume be drugged than actually pay attention. You've made that decision to walk away from the stuff that you're addicted to. You've asked yourself the question why. You've hung in there till you were able to reformulate your priorities. And that takes us to the Six of Wands. Success. Victory. What you're doing is you are reaching a point where you are, one way or another, either from yourself directly or from other people, or maybe a combination of you asking yourself and getting answers from other people as well. You're asking yourself why. That is your number one need right now. We are facing, as humanity, we're facing extinction. From weather control to poisoning our food, to shooting us up with all kinds of drugs, to telling us you're going to have nothing and like it. We're at that point. Please ask why, and keep asking until you get the answers that you need. No shortcuts here. Asking why is the number one need for every human being right now, especially. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another Tao Manifested reading. Please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. You know, we're playing that algorithm game, and you can help. Like, subscribe, certainly. Share if you feel like it. So I'm here every single day. I will be here again tomorrow, but between now and the next time you and I get together to do tarot, peace and blessings.